This is BBC One, and now it's time to join Trev Lynham for Match of the Day. Good evening, welcome to Match of the Day. This evening we have two sides that are pressing to hold the FA Carling Premiership trophy at the end of the season. The money from the bookies is on one of these two sides. After tonight's games, who's your money going to be on? Liverpool had a tricky journey away to West Ham at Upton Park. It was a game in which Liverpool could certainly go and throw their credentials as championship challengers.
John Barnes, who's been there, seen it and done it a long time ago. McManaman, Steve McManaman deflected it, will be a corner.
The defending champions were home against a Spurs side who hasn't really yet hit top gear at the moment at the Premiership, but Spurs and Manchester United is as balters and trenches history as we get in English football. It's not the best clearance, it's Sinton again. Nicky Butts, Sinton! And it was wide. Plus, of course, we're bringing all the other goals that took place today in the Premiership. And, of course, we've got two men that knew a lot about goals, particularly those in the world of punditry. Trevor and Trevor join us tonight. But first we'll go to Upton Park in East London today. Liverpool, after taking the lead in the Premiership last weekend, knew that this was an opportunity for them to stake their claim. After just about narrowly navigating Sion to find their way through to the next round of the UEFA Cup, could this Liverpool side take on and beat a West Ham side that surprised many so far this season? Commentary from this one comes from Trev Motson.
Well, Liverpool, who are now league leaders, and we've seen that one before in the past. Always been table toppers, but now they've really got to show their prowess against the West Ham side, who'll be no slouches under Harry Redknapp. Upton Park looking pristine as it always does on match days, and West Ham have a decent opportunity. Not so much so that they've got Dimitrescu, the Romanian, and John Hartson up front. Frank Lampard, the young 17-year-old, plays in midfield. Liverpool, with vast youth and experience, in their lineup. Bauer and Berger, the Czech World Cup star, European star rather, in front. Michael Thomas, a veteran now. John Barnes, another veteran. And watch out for Stig Bjorneby going down the left-hand side. What an atmosphere Upton Park provided always on match day. Leaders in an all-white strip today. This time, of course, in colour of blue. Roy Evans' side, top in the league as things stand. 20 minutes really hasn't shot to the heights that we expected this game to, but I think the good thing about it is it's so early on in the game. The game can only get better from here. McAteer. Lampard, the youngster, intercepting nicely and bringing John Hartson into the play. Now then, Dimitrescu, the Romanian. Comes away, Julian Dix, former Liverpool player, of course. Be handy if West Ham get a penalty. Here's John Hartson! Oh, what a lovely goal! What a lovely goal by John Hartson, the man they've just signed from Arsenal. And the table toppers trail. It was an absolute perler of a turn and then a terrific half volley across David James. Dick starts it here. Here comes the cross from Stan Lazaridis, and that is a perfectly placed left foot half volley. What a good ball in here from the left. Terrific play. Hudson with his left foot controls it and then follows it past James, who will be annoyed he's been beaten at the near post. 1-0. That surely is a blue touch paper for what we might now see at Upton Park. West Ham lead it. The table toppers in trouble. John Barnes, who's been there, seen it and done it all a long time ago. McManaman. Steve McManaman deflected it. Will be a corner. Liverpool all of a sudden now fighting back. And with West Ham's lead, obviously a precarious one, it's going to be a real tough going for them now. McAteer. Berger lets it roll. McManaman, what a good save that is. Well, it was absolutely flying about in the air, it swerved a bit. But Mikosco had to make the save, and he did just that brilliantly. John Barnes from the throw. McAteer. Barnes. Still going Barnes. McManaman. Good strike and hit the post. Barnes on the rebound. Trying to keep his feet under pressure from Mark Reaper. And he does, and a great save again. And Fucher puts it out. Mikosco again. Caught into action. He's the first step in the air. He's beaten by a mile there. The goalkeeper hits the post. Here it is from behind the goal. That second effort from Barnes. Well saved. 10 minutes to half time. Dimitrescu. Fucher. Good ball. Lampard. Now then, the 17-year-old. Can he break forward? That's a good ball. It's Lazaridis now. A chance for West Ham. It's 2-0. Stan Lazaridis, the Australian, has put Liverpool to the sword. And West Ham lead by 2 goals to 0. Oh, the league leaders are being toppled today at Upton Park. Stan Lazaridis. But credit here goes to the 17-year-old youngster, Frank Lampard Jr., the son of the assistant manager of the same name. He played a lovely slide roll pass here. Watch this. Looked up, saw that Lazaridis was in a terrific position on the left-hand side. And what a finish. And West Ham have got clear daylight between themselves and Liverpool now. Well, what do Roy Evans do here now? He's looking anxiously on the bench down below me and he can't believe what he's just seen. And now it could get even worse. Here's Lazaridis. Hudson waits in the middle. It's going to be a corner kick anyway to West Ham, and more anxiety for Liverpool under the shadow there of Bobby Moore. The late great Bobby Moore, of course. Dix with the corner, short to Ian Bishop. I think Bobby Moore would be enjoying this if he was watching it now. This is a typical West Ham performance. Good football and lovely one-chop stuff. And here's Lazaridis again, back to goal, and he'll turn, he'll shoot, Bev gets it out, and now McManaman away, now Robbie Fowler. Liverpool looking for a way back into this, they have to, still Robbie Fowler. That's a good ball, McManaman, he's onside, Mikosco in the way again, that's 3 magnificent saves, that Ludek Mikosco has made. Fowler with a lovely side wheel pass. Beautifully split in the defence, but Steve McManaman there ought to have scored. But Mikosco had other ideas. 7 minutes, 8 minutes gone in the second half. Still 2-0 to West Ham. Hudson and Lazaridis the scorers. Liverpool have forced 3 good saves out of Mikosco and have hit a post. Here's Michael Thomas. Can he bring something in there? Cross comes in. Mikosco with a decisive fist that time, and West Ham can get it out, but only as far as John Barnes. And Barnes can hit them. Another good save from Mikosco. I count that 4 now. 4 very good saves that Ludek Mikosco has had to make in the entire game. So even though West Ham are winning 2-0, it's not by no means comfortable. And another good save from Berger by Mikosco again. Keeping out his fellow countrymen. Both, of course, hail from the Czech Republic. What a good save that is from Ludek Mikosko, who's having a super match. Barnes with the corner. Can Liverpool break away and beat this unbeatable goalkeeper, or seeming unbeatable goalkeeper? The volley over from Robbie Fowler. Would have been a lovely goal if he'd have got that on target and passed through at Mikosko, but he couldn't keep the shot down, or the effort down, I should say. Oh dear. 58 gone, still 2-0 to West Ham, but it looks a precarious 2-0 lead if you know what I mean. Here's McManaman. Here's Robbie Fowler. Robbie Fowler! Oh, what a good save again. Mikosko, 6 magnificent saves he's pulled off today, and I have to say, if there was a poll in the stadium for the man of the match, I think Mikosko's name would be rising to the surface as one of the outstanding contenders. That's another good save. He's had a super match up till now, and another good save. Dowie replaces Dimitrescu. McManaman has come off, which is a very surprise to him, and young Steven Gerrard comes on, 16 years old. Lampard on one side, a young 17-year-old, and you've got a 16-year-old Steven Gerrard as well. Both tick for a big future in the game, but it's West Ham at the other end now with Harton. Can he keep his balance? He can, but Jamie James saves Liverpool. Well, that would have been the killer third with 13 minutes left to play. Just needed, I think he pulled the trigger there, but I have to say, good defending from Dominic Matteo actually to put him off, because if he hadn't, I think that was game, set and match for West Ham without a shadow of a doubt. 5 minutes to play. Barnes linking up with the youngster Gerrard. Experience to youth. Now Bjarnaby. One goal for Liverpool will put this game in the balance and make it a very edgy finish, certainly for the West Ham supporters. Still John Barnes. Are we going to see a magic of genius from him? Cross comes in. Fowler's going to be stretching, and so too was the goalkeeper, who did actually very well. And it will be a Liverpool ball. Mikosko couldn't take the risk and did really well. Now we're going to see Stan Collymore come on. Very controversial that Berger was selected in his place at the start, but can Stan Victor Collymore come off the bench and probably save Liverpool? He's a good goal scorer, Stan Collymore. We've seen it at Southampton, at Nottingham Forest. Gets his first touch immediately, and it's a good ball. Fowler! Oh, Collymore makes the impact! And Fowler has pulled one back for Liverpool. They're not finished yet. Stan Collymore off the bench, puts in an absolute digger of a cross. And Robbie Fowler from 6 yards beats the brilliant Ludek Mikosko and breathes an opportunity still for Liverpool to still pull at least a point out of the fire. It's 2-1 now for West Ham, and the lead becomes precarious. We're playing into injury and stoppage time. West Ham have just got to keep possession. But have Liverpool got one last chance in them? The referee looks at his watch, and it's Collymore now. They're going to let it go on. Steven Gerrard now. Can his 16-year-old produce some magic here? No, the shot deflects, and that surely must be that. And it is that. Liverpool, the leaders of the Premiership, have been humbled and beaten. John Hartson and Stan Lazaridis with 2 goals in the first half, but the man of the match undoubtedly was Ludek Mikosko, who from my own moment of arithmetic pulled up a whopping 7 saves, even then before Collymore, who came on as a substitute far too late in my opinion, set up Robbie Fowler to make it a grandstand finish, but Liverpool couldn't find a way through a second time, and it's West Ham who upset the league leaders and have beaten Liverpool here at Upton Park by 2 goals to 1 in an absolute classic.
So an astonishing result, chaps. Really good win for West Ham. Liverpool in the end just got exposed, and it's this similar story that we saw and see on in midweek, wasn't it? Yeah, very much was so. I think Liverpool's biggest problem is they're struggling at the moment, I think, to really contain sides when it's under real moments of pressure. And sometimes what you've got to be able to do is assess a situation and say to yourself, get to the break 0-0, get to the break not conceding, get to this position in which we can then go ahead and take the match one step further later on. And I thought a big mistake today for Liverpool's standpoint is they tried to go out all guns and were caught. And that's what they've got to fix. And whether Roy Evans can do that on the training pitch, or does he have to go and buy another defender, I'm not necessarily sure. But either way, that's Liverpool's, I think, biggest problem for them in the game. Well, we've talked about how the problems Liverpool have had. How good will West Ham? Well, John Hartson, I think, we've got to credit Harry Redknapp here. Could be one of the signings of the season, just in the way in which he is acting as a real linchpin for this side. He's doing fantastic work for West Ham at the moment. He's providing a real goal threat. Some have said perhaps Arsenal was maybe a step above John Hartson potentially. It's a cruel thing to say, but you can see here at West Ham he seems to be a bit happier. He seems to be enjoying his football a lot more, and maybe the style of play suits him. Their ability to try and look to sort of cross and play that longer ball, perhaps that suits him. But either way, we've got to credit Harry Redknapp for that deal, and we've got to credit West Ham United for their performance. Well, Liverpool's slip-up meant today that the ability to go top was in the hands of Manchester United. The superior goal difference in the Premiership standing in their way was Tottenham Hotspur at Old Trafford. Commentary from this one comes from Trevor Davis.
Well, midweek adventures have led to a different feeling at the weekends for Manchester United. That's not to say any games are any less important at the moment. Standing across into the Tottenham Hotspur, who have struggled this season, really are under huge pressure with Jerry Francis sitting 15th in the table. So the question is here, what can Manchester United do, and can they return back to the top of the Premier League? Well, the challenge here for them today is how they will go and build with a European rotation. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer partners Eric Cantona, and Karol Boborski comes in with David Beckham, who's rested, as does Phil Neville. He replaces Dennis Irwin. Ronnie Johnson is chosen to partner Gary Pallister. Tottenham Hotspur, Sheringham and Armstrong remain in the attacking formation, with Darren Anderson returning on the right wing with Howes and Dazelle in the middle. Colin Calderwood comes in to partner Sol Campbell at centre half, and John Scales starts at left back today. Cantona will get there ahead of Anderton to keep the possession in Manchester United's hands. Their feet, as one would say, the sport we're watching. Here's Boborski against Scales, and Sinton beating him, and still Boborski. I know it's just cleared away. In the end, it's a really good clearance to Sheringham. Armstrong, Sheringham again. Armstrong's made a lovely run for the middle. Sheringham could find him. Pallister does well, and it will be a Tottenham Hotspur corner. Pallister was put in an enviable task of trying to get the ball away and was successful. Anderson with the corner for Tottenham Hotspur. It's towards Jason Dazelle. I think Ronnie Johnson just got there first. Veered as far as Stephen Carr. Dazelle. Sinton. Just thought about the shot, Andy Sinton, for half a second. But in the end, he's found Chris Armstrong. It's not the best clearance. It's Sinton again. Nicky Butts, Sinton, and it was wide. And had Spurs been a little more clinical and potentially here had a little bit of confidence, they might have created more than the chance that they did. But Andy Sinton was not far across from getting that in. Manchester United, though, it'll be trying to match the ferocity of European nights back with the day-to-day task of the Premier League. Out of the last 5 years, United have held that trophy. Here's Butts. He's going for the shot. It's a lovely scoop pass to Giggs. Giggs is ball in. Cantona! Well, when you have someone as good as he in the air, any cross could be deadly. Cantona's header's off the woodwork, but it's still in. After Tottenham seems to have woken Manchester United up with their hits. comes Eric Cantona to head United ahead. Good work by Butt. This was a lovely ball. What about that? The touch from Giggs to take it away from Carr. Crossing with his right foot. How Cantona has thrived on the quality of delivery this season. And he gets there ahead of Campbell and fires it in off the post. Giggs. Lovely pass by Giggs to Poborski. Does well to keep it in play. Poborski again. Left foot across to Solskjaer. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer here presented with the opportunity. Once again, Manchester United producing a meaningful cross. Good work from Poborski. Getting the better of Calderwood. Solskjaer. Sheringham. Well cut out there by Pallister. Sheringham looking for Chris Armstrong whenever he can. Here's Solskjaer. Poborski. Butts continue the run. Poborski's gone crossfield to Giggs. Control is absolutely impeccable. Up against Anderton. Getting the better of him and putting a ball into Cantona again. And this time it's John Scales that gets it away. Here is Anderton for Spurs. Now what can Darren Anderton do? He's made a brilliant little run. Can he provide a quality pass? Oh, was that a penalty? Yes! Giggs was late on Anderton. David Ellery points to the spot. And Tottenham Hotspur have a lifeline. And Teddy Sheringham already has the ball in his hands. Anderton running into space. Just there, just takes it away and invites the challenge from Giggs. I think there can be no complaints. That's a spot kick, if ever I've seen one. And the penalty will be taken by Teddy Sheringham against Peter Schmeichel. Oh, it's a poor penalty in the end. Sheringham hits it and Schmeichel guessed but parries it away. But it was not a good spot kick. Schmeichel still had to guess. He read that well. And that's one Teddy Sheringham will not want to see again. Nothing like the quality of the penalty that he scored against Germany in Euro 96. Dozel. Scales again. Sinton. Sheringham. Clearance by Jonsson. Cantona's flick on. Campbell gets it. And that's a really clever pass, but Keane has read that. Solskjaer. Cantona again. Solskjaer running ahead. Cantona just tried to take it past Calderwood. Very nearly succeeded. But with possession for Manchester United. Keane. Cantona. Clever ball. Giggs is inside. Skips away from Carr. It's Giggs. It's Cantona! And it was nearly 2-0. Well, lovely pass from Cantona to find Giggs. Lesser man might have gone down under that 50-50 challenge from Carr, but the half chance from Cantona goes wide. Here's Jason Dozel. Scales, Gary Neville across from Manchester United. Approaching half time. Spurs with that missed penalty, let's not forget that. Dozel's lost it to Nicky Butt. Solskjaer. Cantona. Good interception by Howes. Anderton. Armstrong. Back to Anderton. Armstrong, edge of the area. Jason Dozel. Or was he caught? Referee David Ellery plays the advantage. Howes hits one. And it's right at Schmeichel. I don't think that's going to borrow him too much. And I don't think that really deserves the half-time scoreline. Manchester United head not playing perhaps their best football at the moment. Cantona's header is the difference. There could be plenty more for this match in the second half. Half-time, it's Manchester 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. took up the throw for Manchester United. Here's Poborski. Solskjaer and Cantona and Giggs now are in the area. Well, Cantona's headed it back to Butts, and now Keane. And Cantona. That's probably just part of the master plan, wasn't it? Give it back to your midfielders so you can have a shot from outside the area and score an outstanding goal. Eric Cantona with another double. Ever there was a player driving Manchester United towards greatness personified, the 30-year-old Frenchman is really showing his class here. Cantona heads this away rather than goal. But Keane, Cantona in space, and a lovely curling strike that Ian Walker could get nowhere near. And it's the old story in football, you've got to take your chances. Manchester United taking theirs, Spurs haven't. United heading back to the top of the Premiership, it would seem. Here is Gary Neville. It's headed away by Calderwood, only as far as Keane. Now Butts. Poborski. Gary Neville. He's able to shake off Teddy Sheringham, Gary Neville. Lovely ball into Cantona, good save by Walker. Solskjaer dives in, Howells has caught him, but referee David Ellery's unmoved. Cantona, so dangerous. Arriving on that cross, and that's a really good stop by Ian Walker in all fairness. Manchester United looking very, very comfortable, it has to be said. Here's Jason Dazelle going long. Ronnie Johnson heading it away. Campbell. Would be consolation now, I suspect. Spurs were to get something. Here's Finn. They are going to get a free kick in a promising position, but with the way that time has run out, as tempers flare towards the end of it, one suspects here that Manchester United might just have the 3 points taken care of. Well, Raul Fox has come on for Darren Anderson and will take the free kick. It's Fox. Headed away by Keane. And that's how she finishes. Manchester United return to the top of the Premiership with a convincing performance over Tottenham Hotspur. The game hinged on a penalty decision. It was given. The penalty itself was poor. Eric Cantona with another brace from Manchester United shows his quality and value that he's adding to this side. Manchester United winners by 2-0 and march to the top of the FA Carling Premiership.
So in the end, it's a very comfortable win for Manchester United, but it was nearly a chance for Spurs to get back in the game, but they were their own worst enemy, really. Well, Teddy Sheringham, and I've got to say this, his penalty against Germany in the semi-final shootout, I thought was spectacular. It was such a good pressure under so much pressure. Here today, though, for whatever reason, he seemed to change his mind. He went the other side. Schmeichel gambled on it, and credit to Peter Schmeichel for this, makes the save, and I think the whole game has hinged that. I think Spurs score the penalty, game on, and they might have got point, maybe even more from it. I thought once that was it, you could see the Spurs players' shoulders and heads drop, and Manchester United took advantage of it. Well, there's the second half goal in particular, Trevor. We've got to talk about Eric Cantona and what he did out there. Brilliant. It's just brilliant. I mean, most players would try to head for goal. Cantona heads it back to a player in red, and then as a result of that confusion that it causes in the Tottenham Hotspur penalty area, he's unmarked on the edge of the area, and that's a fantastic curling strike. It's just brilliant stuff. Well, confirmation of Manchester United going top of the Premiership, but what about all the other games that took place? Report here comes from Trevor Sinstadt. Middlesbrough's great season was sent crashing back down to earth after a fantastic performance by the Saints at the Dell. Egil Ostenstad got the very first goal of the day, pouncing on a Borough mistake. And it would be mistakes that would be their undoing in the end. Matt Le Tissier played his way through, 1-on-1 in the end with Walsh, getting a toe just under the ball and goalkeeper and finishing to double the lead. It's not really been a great start to Graham Souness's tenure as Southampton manager, but Earl Berkovic made it an absolutely fantastic first half for them, heading home the cross. And it got better for Southampton in the second half. Matt Le Tissier picking the ball out wide and showing us a bit of magic there from the man from Guernsey. And the finish was absolutely sublime. Talk of him potentially being in the England squad, you know. Southampton's biggest win of the season so far, Middlesbrough's biggest defeat. Two sides that are struggling at the bottom half of the table. But in the end it was Noel Whedon that had perhaps one of the best chances of the match. 1-on-1 denied by an excellent save by Tim Flowers, who's certainly pushing for that number 2 place. A world-class stop that to settle this match. It was goalless in the end. Sunderland have been a bit of a surprise package so far this season, but Arsenal showed them a real bit of quality. Well, in fact, it was David Platt in the end, given far too much time, and what about that for a hit? Pundits called this perhaps Platt's best game in an Arsenal shirt since he signed for them a year and a bit ago, and it showed with his play in part in setting up the second goal. His lovely through ball sent through Paul Merson. Merson's effort was blocked, but it was Ian Wright who was the quickest on the line to tap the ball in. 2-0 to Arsenal, and Arsene Wenger's Arsenal revolution continues. A good win for the Gunners at Highbury. Well, Nottingham Forest at the moment cannot seem to buy a goal in the Premiership at the moment. Stuart Pearce had a good effort. It was deflected, but Carling reacted quicker than anybody else. Forest, though, probably had the better of the match at Stamford Bridge and did what they could to try and find a breakthrough. It wasn't happening, and this one finished goalless. Newcastle United produced one of those games that Kevin Keegan's sides have been famous for at the moment. Dwight York was able to pounce on a mistake at the back and put Aston Villa ahead just in the second minute. And despite constant Newcastle United pressure, on the break there was defensive royalties. Julian Jurchin found himself through a beautiful cool finish past Pavel Srnicek. This caused major shuffles and changes that needed to be made at the halfway mark. But there was a bit of luck in the end, Jurchin's chip colliding off the bar. Some have said if it was 3, they couldn't see Newcastle United getting a comeback. But that's what they did. Ginola and Shearer combined, and Alan Shearer got the comeback going with that finish past Bosnich. And after more and more pressure, eventually Aston Villa's defence cracked. Faustino Asprilla found himself through room that he was absolutely blessed with and took full advantage of it with a fantastic finish. And then the winning goal arrived in the end. Asprilla played in Peter Beardsley, who just saw the tiniest little gap between keeper and post and took it and finished. The skipper on the score sheet, Newcastle United, with a famous win at St James's to a devastated Aston Villa. Leicester City and Leeds United. It was a game which proved to be a real shifting point in terms of the Championship, mainly for this foul that was committed. Referee Uriani didn't hesitate to point to the spot. Muzzy Izzet scored 1 penalty this season. He scored 2 now. A textbook penalty, giving Leicester City a big win in the Premiership at home to Leeds United. Leeds, though, in trouble. Another side that many predicted would be in trouble this season was Wimbledon, but that completely wasn't the case. Akoko got ahead of McGrath. Leonardson was able to finish brilliantly and put Wimbledon 1-0 up. A lead which they held for the rest of the game as the Crazy Gang continued their rise up the Premiership table. Wasn't the best match in the end between these two, but it did have a great moment for Everton fans. Duncan Ferguson found himself through and finished past Pressman and gave Goodison Park the lift they needed. And it was doubled in the second half where, despite play which was rather flat at times, Andy Hinchcliffe produced a quality cross, Ferguson again providing a quality finish, and a big win for Everton in the Premiership, 2-0 winners at home to Wednesday. So confirmation at the top of the Premiership after their 2-0 win over Sunderland. Arsenal join Manchester United at the top of the Premiership. Newcastle United move up to their highest place so far this season in 3rd place, a point ahead of Liverpool, who are in 4th. And the bookies are that those top 4 could be the 4 challenging for the Championship this season. At West Ham United, after that win, move up as high as 6th. A brilliant performance for them. Despite Middlesbrough's heavy defeat, they remain 9th, and Wimbledon have moved up to 8th place. Bottom half of the table, Sunderland will be delighted mid-table, a long way off of Blackburn Rovers, who are still yet to win a game so far this season. Leeds United and Nottingham Forest are ahead of them. Those two play one another next, so that could be a real 6-pointer between those two. Coventry and Spurs have got to be worried, and Southampton, after that win, moved their way out of danger. So, an important day in the life of the Premiership. Manchester United have moved ahead of Liverpool, and Manchester United will play Liverpool next at Old Trafford. We're going to be there in Match of the Day. We'll hope you join us. From Trevor and myself, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.